Okay, so today you have this super cool show with Slayer and Trucks and at the Gates. So have you played with more famous or important or significant bands in thrash metal before?
Well, I mean, we've played with a bunch of cool bands, like either in tours, like we did a Finnish tour with Overkill a couple of years ago. We've done tours with Destruction, and then there's been a lot of festivals, of course, with the big major bands like Testament, Creator, and loads of other bands, and we've checked out their shows in the festivals and stuff. So, but this is the first show that we're actually like supporting these huge thrash metal all-stars
in your home country.
Exactly, so what could be cooler?
Yeah. How do you think it was possible to get so high so quick, so fastly?
Well, I mean, I'd say that
it's like 5 years, right?
It is about 5 years. We were just like walking around the arena some time ago, and we were thinking that what the hell happened. I mean, it was 5 years ago that we founded this band, and now we're here.
Yeah, now the place is ours.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. But I mean, I'll say, of course, that like one of the things that's the most important to all of us is just like having a really great work ethic, that we practice all the time, and we really don't take this stuff for granted, that we just keep on getting, or hopefully keep on getting better all the time, and we love what we do. And
sometimes people like they form a band and they start to get the taste of success, and they kind of go the wrong way with drugs, alcohol, with all this stuff, and they get ruined. How is it by you? Because that's quite a test for your ego, for yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it is always. I'm sure for bands like who start playing bigger shows, I mean that their riders have it's a shitload of booze and beer and stuff like that. But we've definitely never had a problem with that, because we have one rule with the band, and it's that none of us take like one single beer before the show. Maybe one beer is okay, but that's it. And I mean, because in the end of the day, anyone can wait 1 hour until they open another beer than after the show. Right? But I mean, we don't fuck up shows because of alcohol or drugs, definitely. So
So you are not kind of tankard.
Nah, fuck no. I mean, Tanker's awesome. They know how to drink.
Cool, yeah, but that's exception.
Exactly.
They're from Germany.
Exactly.
Beer is in the blood.
They have superpowers, dude.
Tell me a little bit about the name of the band. Why Lost Society? I mean, why is it lost? Because I know that a lot of in literature, in art, they touch upon this issue a lot, from hell knows when, that society is lost. I mean, what does that mean for you?
Well, I mean, basically, when I founded the band back in 2010, I mean, we were struggling for a long time to get a good name, and then I just stumbled upon this term, Lost Society, and I mean, I didn't think about it as largely as some could think, but I mean, in the beginning of the band, we kind of had like some political kind of themes and stuff in the songs and stuff, but that stayed away. But I mean, it's funny to notice that now, basically in 2015, that it really means something, that Lost Society, because I mean, look at the surroundings that we have right now. I mean, say the Lost Society, some of it is just everyone looking at their phones all the time, no social conduct or anything.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone is sending selfie.
Exactly. I mean, that's a part of it. Then I mean, there's all this fucked up political shit that's going on all the time. So I think it's really like in this state right now, this Lost Society term.
But you look like, and you feel like positive. I mean, you don't look like that kind of people or bands who are like sending message with serious face and heavy.
Well, I mean,
we are going to die.
Well, I mean, we've always had like a kind of positive vibe to it, that even though we're in this Lost Society, at least we're trying to make it a little bit better. I mean, if someone who has some shitty stuff going on in their lives, they can come to our show and just relax and have a good time. So for at least some time, they'll have a better feeling. Or something.
Okay. Are there any other ways you can express yourself apart from music?
Apart from music?
Yeah, what do you like to do? Just what do you feel like to do from time to time?
I mean, that's such a hard question for me, because I've noticed that everything basically that I do in my life somehow has a part.
Turns into music.
Exactly. I mean, when I'm walking downtown, I'm listening to music. When I'm at home, I'm doing music and stuff like that. But
But do you prefer more to create music rather than listen to it? What is the proportion?
It's a really 50-50 thing for me, because I mean I can go for months, you know, that I'm just listening to music, enjoying new bands and stuff, and then I can go into this deep silence and start making songs for days and days and days. So I mean both of them are awesome, of course, but I mean music is such a big part of my life that I'm doing it constantly in some way.
Does anyone from your family listen to your music?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, do you rope them and take them, sit on the sofa and here is 1 hour of thrash?
Oh, actually, I mean it was cool, because I mean of course my folks don't listen to thrash metal normally. I mean, you know, I've heard my first Dire Straits albums from my dad and stuff, but I mean, of course both of them enjoy the stuff. They've supported us so much. All of our parents are really big like supporters in this whole thing, but they enjoy the occasional thrash metal album.
Some people, some bands, they send a message like the world should be a better place, like they struggle with some scenes of society and individuals and so on, so read policy makers and all this stuff. But it came to my thought that if the world is better place, it's cleaned up and everything is perfect, nobody is greedy, nobody is egoistic and something like that, the thrash metal will disappear.
Exactly, because no one has anything to complain about at that point.
You don't complain, you will explode from inside.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was this interview of Dee Snider from Twisted Sister that I watched a way back. That, you know, he was just sitting in front of his mansion with a couple of cars behind him, a couple of Ferraris or something. Then he's like, well, you know, I can't complain anymore. That's why I can't make music anymore. So I think it's kind of the same thing.
So we should keep a couple of greedy people alive so that
yeah,
thrash
you know,
metal is alive.
You keep a couple of greedy assholes alive and the thrash metal scene will thrive.
Do you have some kind of tour stories and maybe cases which make you laugh, or when you think of them you feel like, well, that was stupid, or something in a positive way, like you were forgotten at the bus station or at the airport in the bushes while pissing or something like this?
Well, I mean, with the crew that we have, I think every gig that we go to has some good story. Of course, the best stories, we can never remember them. But I mean, there's been all kinds of cases, like there was the first European tour we did back in 2014 in January. We were just crossing the border to the UK, so we were in France. And we all got off the bus, we were completely shit-faced. Then we got to the passport control, everyone was just like, oh shit, are they gonna let us in or anything? So then we got to the other side, basically, of the passport control. Then I started looking that, okay, there's me, there's our guitarist and our bassist, where the fuck is our drummer? And then at the same second that I figured that out, 2 police guys were escorting him in, like, we found this guy on the bus, is he a part of the band? I was like, oh shit, forgot the dude there.
The drumming part.
Exactly. Usually it's the bassist that we forget somewhere, but this time it was us.
In rock, it happens so that many bands start with very fastly, very aggressively, very energetic, very thrashy, rocking and firing. But couple or maybe several years later, everybody remembers their first albums, and then they start to be like copying themselves or parody of themselves. Like a lot of examples there are, but why do you think it happens? What is the thing that happens in their way that they start to lose interest, to lose drive for music, and start to just production line, like assembly line, just every fucking year they have the same shit, almost.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I mean, of course I'm not the best to say that stuff, because we've been a band for like 4 years with this lineup and stuff, and we still love the music we do. But I mean, of course it could be like for bands that started like in the 80s and 90s, then they did something, then they wanted to try something new, but then they noticed that the fans just don't like it, the new stuff. They're like, oh, stick to the old stuff. So then they could start, or then they try to just recreate what they did back in the day, just so that the fans would stay with them.
But it could
be, well, yeah, it does fail, because I mean, you can see that stuff, that if they're really, you know, trying to do what
something
they did back in the day. Exactly, because I mean, there's a certain kind of like the purity that you see in the bands when they make the music that they actually want to do. You can see it like in their live performances, and you can hear it in the albums. So if someone's trying to do something a bit more insincere, then maybe you can hear it.
Yeah, you can feel it, like energy can't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
But for you, was it ever a question for you of satisfying the label, satisfying the fans, satisfying everyone or anyone but yourself?
Oh hell no! I mean, it's been all about the music ever since the beginning. I mean, I think we did 2 demos before we got signed to Nuclear Blast, and I mean, at that point we weren't.
Contract came. I mean,
well, the contract came back in, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2012 in the summer or something, because the whole thing went that we released 2 demos, then we did a bunch of band competitions here in Finland, and one of the band competitions they televised the finals on TV. And then it ended up on YouTube, and then our good friend from Helsinki Rock Shop Helsinki, this dude called Jan, he actually linked the video to the dudes in Nuclear Blast and was like, hey, you guys gotta sign this band, and then a couple of months later they contacted us, and that's how it started. So I mean, there's so much luck involved in the whole thing.
Yeah, karma.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently we did something right. But I mean, yeah. But I mean, anyway, it was all about the music. It still is. I mean, of course, it's an amazing feeling, you know, when you know that the crowd loves the stuff that we do, and that, well, I mean, records don't sell anymore, that's a fact. But anyway, if we can make some fan happy with the music that we do, of course, it's a good feeling. But in the end of the day, the music that we love to do is the best.
What is the place you visited was like some exotic or something that you liked specially around the world?
Well, I mean, of course, it's a cliche, but I mean, the coolest place would be to play is, of course, Japan. We've been there twice now. The second time was this year in May, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, every time we go there, it's just crazy. The crowd is just completely different.
What's so special about Japan?
Well, I mean, it's because, I mean, many times I've been thinking that, you know, when you play a show in Finland in a typical club environment, you know, the people are first like, they're just watching you for like 2 songs, and then when their friend starts going crazy, then they start going crazy. But in countries like Japan, or then, you know, Germany, Poland, all of those places, I mean, people really don't give a fuck about what the other person is doing. They go at once, you know, all out, and they really show the passion, which of course energizes us a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'd say that those places are fucking awesome.
When you were a kid, like, what kind of kid you were at school? Were you rebellious? Were you listening to Metallica, sitting at your desk and not giving a fuck about mathematics or?
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that I mean, I'm not the typical kind of thrash metal kid, you know. I didn't really like being like, or you know, fucking breaking shit or doing stuff like that. I mean, I was just like, I went to class always, I was in school, I didn't get kicked out or anything. Of course, I mean, most of the lessons,
you didn't burn any school.
I didn't burn anything. I don't think so.
So maybe you did.
Maybe I did. But I mean, of course, you know, a majority of the classes went that I had a notebook that had Iron Maiden logos, Judas Priest logos, which is, of course, the biggest cliche in the world, but fuck it.
Cool. Well, did you ask Santa for anything in your childhood?
A guitar.
A guitar.
And I got it.
You got it when? What age?
I think I was 11. I was 11 years old when I got my first guitar, but I actually bought it myself. I just got the money for it. So I mean, I bought my first guitar, and then I mean, well, ever since I got it, it's been all about that. That was just, you know, like 12 hours a day at home, just playing Maiden songs, mainly using Guitar Pro or something like this.
What were your favorite ones to play?
Well, I mean, I'll always remember the first song that I learned to play, like, you know, from beginning to end. It was Maiden's The Trooper, of course. And then shortly after that it started, you know, when I wanted to get something even more difficult or something, then I went to Children of Bodom. I remember I learned...
something wild or something?
I think the first song was Silent Night, Bodom Night from Hatebreeder, and then I think the next from that was Somebody Put Something in My Drink, the Ramones cover that they did, and I was fucking so stoked that I knew how to play.
Okay, so what do you think that if society is like, again back to that issue of society lost, if it is improved within the time, like generally speaking, could you rename your band it a found society? Not lost.
Fuck no.
Okay.
It's always gonna be lost as long as these guys are in the band.
Okay, if you were a rock journalist, like, well, I'm trying to do or pretend to be, what were the questions? What was one question you would ask Sunny?
One question I would ask a musician, I'd ask, why do you do music? What's the big thing about music that you want to do it?
Okay. Okay, why do you do music?
Oh, dude, good question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, music is for me, because I'll always remember when I was 7 years old, I heard The Prisoner from Iron Maiden, of course, from my brother. And then, I mean, I just remember the feeling so clearly like that. I was just like, holy shit, what is this and why am I feeling so good about it? And I mean, basically since I started doing music, you know, if I can create some music that gives the same kind of feelings to someone else that I got from the Maiden song, I mean, then I've accomplished a lot. And I think because music is one of those things in life that will always make you feel better, make you feel worse, but at least you get some feelings out of it.
By the way, I was watching yesterday the movie about Indian music, and the guy from Hana Rocks was there. His soundtracker show.
Oh yeah, Sami Affa.
Yes. He was there in India, and he was studying from Mumbai, I guess, or some big city, and went down to desert land and comparing how noisy is the megapolis and how intimate and subtle is music there, where people are more or less alone or separate from crowds. So why do you think it is in the East more that they play music daily at home? They are not dreaming of going to Hollywood and become one of the Hollywood vampires one day, like Alice Cooper or somebody else, but just find satisfaction here and where they are with what they have at hand, like sitar or some kind of primitive drumming or whatever.
I mean,
why is it in the East, not in the West? Why don't we do that at home?
Well, I have no idea. I mean, could it be maybe because they just, I mean, they focus on what's the most important. I mean, they don't start going overboard with everything because, I mean, let's face it, music in its most basic element, which is, you know, just like a tabla or something. I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, you can make music on anything, but it's just because, like, for example, here, I mean, everyone's just like, oh, we gotta get something that sounds even better and even louder and even cooler and all this bullshit. But I mean, at the end of the day, they focus on the main thing, which is music. So I mean, it could be from that, of course.
So we should somehow learn from those Eastern kind of views.
Well, because I mean, in many senses, less is more, which is a fact.
Yeah, you can't get.
Except for Yngwie Malmsteen, more is more.
Cool. Do you think that if policymakers play thrash or come to gigs of thrash bands, there will be less wars than it is like regularly every year we have something exploding somewhere? Mm-hmm. Well, thrash is like letting your energy out very quickly and very directly.
Well, because I mean, in many ways, I mean, for example, especially thrash metal, because it is such an aggressive style of music, I'd say that a lot of musicians who play thrash metal, if they didn't start playing it at the time, they could be, you know, now in prison or fucking fighting on the streets, because it's just like such a raw way of getting all of the bad energy out, and just, you know, pounding the guitars and pounding the drums and just fucking screaming. You get all of the bad energy and all of the hatred out, so I mean, you know, you never know.
By the way, your drummer, is he kind of peaceful guy usually? Or is he more peaceful after drumming the gig than before?
I mean, our drummer is fucking weird. I mean, he's always peaceful. And that's why, like, so many times, you know, when we're just hanging out in the bus or something, we're going to the venue, I mean, he's just, you know, there doing yoga or some shit. Then not really, but then when we get to the venue, then he starts just pounding the drums, and I'm like, holy shit, is that the same dude?
Maybe he can do this holy shit because of his meditative.
Yeah, exactly.
He's accumulating.
He's just levitating over the drums.
Yeah. Okay, so one last thing, just maybe a bit crazy, but not really. If you said that you can use anything to play as an instrument, right? Mm-hmm. Could you just drum on my head or something like this? Just sit on it, like yogis.
Right.
with legs. Yeah.
Just open your mouth a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I think we can get some sound out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you can drum really. Don't worry.
This is fucking music. Fuck yeah.